We'll be hearing more from Rochelle in just a short while. Vince?
Okay, as you all know, today is really about saluting outstanding individuals in different fields of endeavors. In other words, there is very much a lot of truth to the old adage, excellence knows no boundaries.
And
no territories.
That's right. And our next guest also proves that, ladies and gentlemen. He also uses his voice, by the way, as a tool of his trade, but in a very different way. Right, Vince?
Absolutely. He's known as the voice master. He is recognized in his circle as the most sought-after voice artist, motivational speaker, and events engineer. His work has been heard on radio and TV commercials, audio dramas, children's programs, computer games, dubbed foreign telenovelas, films and anime, and original animation, among others. At present, he conducts voice acting workshops and runs a sole proprietorship, full-service voiceover production company, Creative Voices Productions. He also works as a voice director for Hero TV and is executive producer of Voice of the Youth TV, the only TV program dedicated to Filipino voice talents. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome Mr. Pocholo Gonzalez.
Hello, Pocholo.
Hi.
I have a feeling you're putting a mark on how we're delivering our script here.
How's our voices?
Thank you. We're going to be learning a lot from Pocholo here, but the next person that we're going to be calling is in a different form of arts. Of course, most of the personalities that you have on stage already are all in the music industry. This is a very different art form, the medical arts.
Yes, although it's called the medical arts, it really is a scientific practice that requires all your wits and a whole lot of heart. Dr. Daniel Luchanco completed his BS in psychology at the Ateneo before going on to medical school at UERM Memorial Medical Center. During medical training, he found that he had an affinity for activity in the emergency room. And after passing his medical boards in 2005, took his residency training in emergency medicine at the Makati Med Center, where he was absorbed and became part of the faculty of the emergency medicine training program after specialization.
He trained and became an instructor for the American Heart Association, teaching courses in basic, advanced, and pediatric life support, building on these two passions of emergency medicine and training. He then founded Early Intervention Management Incorporated in 2011. You know, this company actually offers management of medical staff and support for a wide range of medical-related services. It also specializes in training both healthcare professionals and laypersons, teaching anything from CPR and ambulance rescue to management of common emergencies at home. In 2012, to further his expertise in emergency medicine, he went on a rotation at the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix, Arizona, and took a training course in Trauma Level 1 at the Trauma Center at the University of Arizona. Now, in 2013, he took the helm of Singapore Diagnostics, a diagnostic laboratory established in the country by the Asia Med Lab, which is a group that runs large laboratories in Singapore and Malaysia. Currently, he is on the board of directors of the Philippine College of Emergency Medicine, and he plans to continue to do his part in advancing the fields of emergency medicine, pre-hospital healthcare response, and diagnostic testing in our country.
In other words, here is a man who must live a highly stressful, constantly exciting, but very fulfilling life, saving others' lives. Please welcome Dr. Daniel Luchanco.
I feel very safe with you around, Dr. Daniel.
Hi, Trisha. It's an honor to be here with this group of accomplished individuals.
How does it feel, though? You're in the medical arts and everyone else, they're world-class performers. We have a voice coach over here. Of course, we do want everyone to actually, what we would like for you to gain from this is really based on their experiences and based on their leadership experiences and the qualities that they carry. We'd like for all of you, particularly the students who are here today, to also draw from that, see from their experience, and also grow and learn and pick up from what they too have discovered in the years and years that they've been doing their wonderful craft, be it in the medical arts or in the performing arts. All right, Vince, shall we start with our short Q&A?
Yes, let's do that. I think let's start with Ryan, if you don't mind. Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your field of practice and why exactly you chose what you did?
Okay, so I guess it looks like I perform a lot, but I've only really been performing for only the past 2 years. I actually started doing the whole music thing as a songwriter, and that's actually how I started off making music professionally. I've always had an affinity for writing songs, and I usually use it as like an outlet for, I guess, my own feelings or whatever it was that I was going through in like life or whatever. But the important thing about that is that I pretty much got really obsessed with just like finishing songs and tweaking them and retweaking them, and I just got like really, really, really into making songs all the time. So I'd be like writing 3-4 songs a week, something like that. And out of all those songs, some of them actually turned out pretty good, and you know, self-promotion here and there. I was able to make some good connections, and I ended up writing for a different TV series in LA and for different artists as well. And I guess for me at that age, I was about 22, 23, it was a huge success to be able to make any sort of money in another country, you know, doing something that you love doing, pretty much.
Thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to say, and I know a lot of you know, that the MVP Group of Companies has an advocacy for music, which is the Philippine Popular Music Festival. And for sure, Ryan, we're going to be calling on your expertise also, and your, of course, to help further Philippine music. But now that you're in the Philippines, you spoke about your experience writing songs, whether it's for television or for yourself, back in Los Angeles. How important is it to continue, even if you have rooted yourself here in the Philippines already? Do you still find that, I guess, motivation, and also do you still find yourself writing a lot of songs with the surroundings here and getting more inspiration?
To be honest with you, it's been a lot harder to write here. Because when I first moved back, I was really excited to write. Pero for me, there's a language barrier pa. Kasi like, hindi ako ganong kabasadong magsalita ng Tagalog. So,
that's not bad.
Hence, I can't write in Tagalog. But, you know, wherever I can, I try to write because, like, that's always been sort of my forte. But over here naman, I'm focusing more on, like, you know, getting my voice up to par with my songwriting.
Oh, okay, great.
But I guess when it comes to instrumentals, I still write for some shows and some other people as well.
Good to hear, Vince.
All right, let's move on to Rochelle Herodias. She's a world-class soprano. How did you choose your chosen field? And tell us how you got there.
Okay, first of all, you said, explain something about my chosen field. It's the performing arts, specifically classical singing. So in classical singing, we're trained to sing in the style of opera, but not limited to it. So we also sing art songs from different parts of the world. And so for me, I also sing kundiman, and that's our form of art song. And well, it actually started as, for me, a desire to serve in our church through music. It was my parents who wanted me to dedicate my life to serving in the church. But then, so I enrolled in music school at the University of Santo Tomas to become a professional singer. At that time, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But then I got exposed to classical music and opera, and I loved it. And from there, I just wanted to pursue the opera.
So from what your parents just encouraged you to do in church, the whole world now gets to hear your gift because of that small encouragement that your parents had.
Yes.
One thing that I have to share with the audience, I had the privilege of hearing Lupang Hinirang, our national anthem, sung by Rochelle here, as I moved closer to her, while all of you had the privilege of hearing it here at the beautiful Meralco Theater. But definitely, it's such a gift. Is it important for parents to encourage and recognize their children's gift early on?
Yes, of course. It's just that my parents are very, well, they're very dedicated to serving the church, so they really wanted me to serve in the church. At first, that was my challenge because they wanted me really to take up theology.
That's a little different than what you
was
chose.
that reaction? And but then it was in high school. It was kind of late when I realized I really wanted to be a singer. I wanted. That was when I discovered God has given me a special talent in singing, and so I thought, okay, I really want to take up music, and the challenge was to convince my parents. So I prayed. I'm very prayerful and asked God, if this is really for me, then I won't have any problems with my parents. And then just one day, well, they already know that I want music, but I wasn't really asking them if I can take up music. But then they just told me, you know, we've been talking about this and praying, and we realized, you know, when you go to heaven, everybody's going to be singing. So that's even better, because you're going to be singing here in church, and up to heaven you'll be singing and using this talent. So that was my cue. Okay, music it is.
Great. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you listened to some higher power.
Higher than your parents.
Exactly. Let's go to our next panelist here, Pocholo.
Yeah, Pachola, how did you get your start? And at what age did you realize you wanted to be the voice master?
First of all, I would like to say good afternoon, everyone. Magandang hapon po. I'm Pocholo Gonzalez. I still remember when I was 5 years old. I grew up in Mariveles, Bataan. I don't know if any one of you is from Bataan, but we don't have a television then. It was in 1985. I still remember that. And there was the only means of entertainment that we have is the radio. So every evening before we go to sleep, I'm hearing this radio drama called Gabi ng Lagim. And also this...
They laugh kasi natatandaan din nila yon.
And also this radio drama called 24 Horas. So when I was young, I'm imitating it already because I have nothing to do. There's no internet then, remember? So I find the voices very nice. So what I did is I'm imitating for myself. So I hear this voice like, Isang gabi ng lagim. And then there's a kid.
Lolo, gabi na po, pasensya na, kinabi tayo.
Hey, naku, apo, mag-iingat ka, may monster dito. And then, bigla,
Nako, Lolo, may monster!
anong ginagawa niyo dito? And then my mom was like, what the heck is happening to this boy? And unknowingly, that was like, I'm 7 years old then, but until I get to the school and I imitate my teacher sounds, class, bilisan nyo, matagal na, mag-start ng klase. He sounds like that. And I imitated him one time, and I said, class, I'm here, andito na ako. And all my classmates were running like, they thought that's our teacher. And until no one can touch the microphone except me. From high school to college.
I'm sure Rochelle would have prayed for you back then since you were talking in tongues. Who knows what other languages are coming out?
But that's really amazing. I mean, we always knew that there were a lot of talented people, but I think here in Meralco Theater, not a lot like you have come and performed here. But apart from finding early on what your gift was, I'm sure at the early onset, in your childhood, for you it was just all play. When did you start taking it seriously?
Well, basically, when I was in high school, my dad wants me to be a lawyer. And I said, yes, I will be a lawyer. And I took up an exam in the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and I got in. So I took up creative writing. So English creative writing, I find it so boring because I don't speak at all. Because I'm number one in the class when I was in high school, number one in the noisy list. Yeah. I always get like 100 list. So I transferred to speech communication when I was in second year. And I find myself having fun. And actually, when I was in first year, I've heard this radio ad in DZMM saying, kayo ba'y may talento sa pag-iba ng boses? So pag voice acting, sumali. So I joined this voice acting competition and I bested more than 10,000 other people because I created like 50 different voices during that time. And then, luckily, at very young age of 16, I was given my very own radio show on that station. And I was like, why should I wait to graduate if I can do it now? But of course, I pursue my education, and I also took up my master's degree in broadcasting.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
Right.
You know, just for just a thought to share with our students that are here. Of course, we have a lot of high school and college students that have joined us on the lounge and also the balcony. That's a really important point that he said. Although he really had this talent that was very unique that he knew he could make money from, he still pursued his studies, which is really important. This is one of the points that we wanted to share in our crafting thought leadership here for this FPLA Executive Talk. Let's now go to Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan,
Hi.
our ER specialist. How did you get into wanting to be a ER specialist, and where did you get your start exactly?
Wow, how do you follow that, though?